Whether it was the first time I came here back in 2012 to launch the first ever electric cafe powered by the people and powered by the energy in our car, or just 3-4 months ago when I enjoyed the company of Mayor Bergen at the launch of the Nissan Leaf, Oslo's feeling pretty special to me at the moment. And you know what? It's feeling pretty special to an awful lot of people around the globe who believe passionately in electric vehicles. And I think there's an awful lot we can still learn here together about the acceleration of electrification. Look, 2017, though, for me, was the year the world woke up. I think we've already heard today from some of the cities and countries and states around the world that are taking advantage of what has happened here in Oslo and are going to take that home to deliver acceleration in their markets. But you know, it was also something that struck me last year. The tone and the style and the amount of questions I started to get asked by journalists also changed. They used to ask me questions just 3 or 4 years ago about, is this electrification thing a fad? Is it going to really work? Well, now they ask me, what's my next electric vehicle? What are you doing next? How are you going to bring more? How are we going to accelerate together? It's a big change. But I think more importantly than just cities and governments and states and journalists, customers and businesses are starting to demand that change. And we're feeling that more than most. This change is not only inevitable, it's irreversible. It's not just my opinion, but that's coming from not just COP21 and the agreements we have as a society to move forward on reducing air pollution. It's also coming from the fact that countries across the globe have now committed to the electrification of their mobility solutions. And in 2018, the momentum is going to build. It's really, really starting to feel real. What does my 2018 look like? I've already warned the wife I might not be home for a few months yet, but 2018 is going to be an incredible success story for Nissan and our electrification journey. We launched the Leaf here in Oslo back in October, and we've already sold 13,000 new Nissan Leafs. That's 1 every 10 to 12 minutes. I get my maths right. On top of that, we're not just selling these for the future, we're selling these for now. We delivered to our first customer in the UK this weekend, a retired policeman who's decided to move to electrification with us and take that step towards a more sustainable mobility solution. And I've seen the photos as well here in Drammen, and the first boats have arrived, and I cannot wait to deliver to our first customers in Norway in the coming days. On top of that, though, we've launched a longer range ENV200. And I came, some of you hopefully were there last night, but I came in last night and heard from London Taxi about what they're going to do to electrify the mobility segment in London and beyond. I look forward to having some fun with them, with not only the #1 electric van in Europe and the globe, but also a unique 7-seat electric vehicle, the ENV200. We're not stopping at the car, though. We're also looking at energy services. If we talk about batteries, questions that I used to get asked on batteries are about what do you do with them when they deteriorate? How do you recycle them? In fact, at Nissan, we put aside money back in 2010 for every battery we've ever built. And we built more than Tesla, just to confirm. For every battery we've ever built, we put aside money to recycle it. But our batteries are lasting longer than they're needed. So what we're going to be doing is taking out every single one of our used Nissan Leaf and ENV200 batteries and putting it into second life storage, giving its lifespan another 10 to 12 years and giving us the ability to give customers and businesses the chance to move to more renewable energies. We sold over 1,000 of these, and we're starting to put them in this quarter into homes and businesses around Europe. And we're doing this with more consistency, clarity, and conviction than ever before with our intelligent mobility strategy and the technologies we're delivering to market off the back of it. But we can't do this alone. We can't do this alone, and I believe that success truly comes from working together. And if you look at what you're all doing here today, we're sitting there listening and learning from each other, and that's one part of it. But we also need to work together to be able to deliver a sustainable mobility solution for the future. And at Nissan, we will work with anyone. We've been working with BMW. We've certainly been working with our alliance partners, Renault. It's been enjoyable to sell more electric vans than them, but we of course work hand in hand with them to drive and to facilitate the ability to charge a car across Europe. But we will work with businesses that are big or small. We will work with people that are ahead of the game and that are driving forward, such as the likes of Harrods, or we will work with countries whether they have incentives in place or whether they haven't got any incentives in place. Markets like Italy, we're working with local partners, we're putting on the ground our own incentives, our own acceleration plans for electrification. try and stimulate the market, to try and make sure that governments and cities wake up, to support us, and to support other businesses, to make sure that every country has a chance to move forward. Why do we do this, and why am I saying this? Well, for me, we do this because of our customers. We sold more electric vehicles than anyone else on the planet. Our customers, our 300,000 pioneers, have driven 3.9 billion kilometers. That's taken out 1.2 million tons of CO2 from the environment. And through that journey, they're a vocal bunch, as I'm sure Christina can testify to. They give us feedback. The vast majority of that feedback is fantastic. In fact, they're the most satisfied customers of any Nissan customer, of any Nissan car that we've ever built. But they do give us feedback, and one of the things they say is they need electrification to be easier, to be simpler, and to deliver that simple solution. It's about working in partnership. It's about building our own expertise and learning off others' expertise as well. Because knowledge is only built up by doing, and at Nissan we've been doing longer than anyone else, and we will continue to do in the future. And we'll do that to support a range of customers. Not just the pioneering mums and dads who have moved to electrification, to do the school run with zero emissions, but also for businesses wanting to have a sustainable business card that they can bring to their customers, wanting to reduce their running costs. On top of that, cities, and many of you here today, I was inspired by the speech around how it was happening in California. They need help to implement these strategies, to implement the ability to put in charging, not just on the road, not just for the long highways, but also for homes and businesses across their state. And importantly, it's about the communities within those cities. I'll touch on what we're doing for communities in a moment. So I believe in open EV. If we're going to accelerate electrification, we have to work together to do that. And of course, I believe I've got the products and services to be able to continue to lead in the future in the electric vehicle market. But what's at stake is far more important than that. I currently live in Paris. I think my registration card said I was actually French today. I'm definitely not French. But back home in Paris, my wife sent me a photo yesterday. My kid's school is flooded. These things are too important to ignore, and we need to drive forward the acceleration of electrification to be able to deliver a more sustainable mobility solution. And our strategy behind that is called the Nissan Electric Ecosystem. Of course, it's about our Nissan Leaf and our ENV200 and our future products. It's also about the charging infrastructure. It's about understanding that, yes, highway charging infrastructure is needed. Yes, in the future, you might need 350 kilowatt charging stations. But today, 80% of charging takes place at the home or in the business. It's about supporting individual customers and businesses with charging on a daily basis. It's about understanding that most of my charging takes place, like many of my customers, at the supermarket, when my car's not doing anything. It's about offering grid services from the car, grid services from our second life storage device. It's about making sure that we can store renewable energy, not just at a grid level, but also in the home. And it's about working in partnership to do that. And beyond, and I think this is where we're starting to get excited with electric mobility, it's about providing broader connected services, car sharing schemes. The ability to move when you haven't been able to in the past. This isn't just a marketing concept. This isn't just a PowerPoint slide within Nissan. This is a reality for us today. Indeed, I've just spent the last 3 weeks, and it's a little bit warmer there than here, I have to say, but I've spent the last 3 weeks in Tenerife, launching the first ever zero emissions test drive of the Nissan Leaf and the ENV200. And all of the power for those vehicles, and all of the power for the journalists and the businesses that have come to join us there, to power their homes, to power their food being cooked, is from the wind and solar being generated by ITA, the Institute for Technology and Energy Research. But on top of that, we've integrated our intelligent mobility solution, our X storage, and our charging wall boxes to be able to power the cars and to be able to store energy during the day and use it during the night in the home. And I mentioned communities. We're also going to take those storage devices and we're going to put them into sub-Saharan Africa after the event is finished. We're going to combine them with a solar panel and create a portable microgrid to give power to those who have none. And just this morning, we announced something called Plug and Play in Japan, where we're starting to invest in partnership with startups to try and accelerate electrification and alternative mobility solutions going forward. And 2 examples of what we've been doing already that we launched in January is Nissan Energy Solar, where you can now buy solar panels, an X storage, charging box, and a Leaf from Nissan in partnership with Solar Century. On top, partnering with OVO Energy, we've now going to turn over 1,000 Nissan Leaf and ENV200 into those mobile power storage units to be able to deliver free power for their driving experience forever. It's a massive step forward, and for us, we're starting to look at things as if we're a technology company. We're starting to be a technology company to deliver more sustainability and accessibility for electric mobility for our customers, because we believe we can be the most advanced but accessible electric vehicle brand on the planet. So that not only can we help change the way that you're all driving, but hopefully we can help change the way that we're all living together. Thank you.